Okay, Parker DuBose, one-on-one. Parker, let me have you stand on this side of the ball first, if that's okay. All right, so coming in, you're a big guy. What are you, 6'2"? Okay, you got wide shoulders, big legs. We think you're a little bit too compact, too hunkered down in the stance, and a little bit narrow. You're not letting yourself be big on the field. You never want to make yourself small on the football field, right? Same principle applies to being a long snapper. So we need to do a couple of things. Now, the narrowness is occurring to me because it looks like there's just not a lot of clearance between the knees for the arms and shoulders to come through and do that aggressive motion down through the legs of throwing the football, okay? And a couple of things that really work for a lot of people that we've seen. Number one is just widen out a touch, but try taking your toes outward slightly, okay? That's going to point your knees out slightly, but also when you sit into the stance, just push your knees comfortably out over the toes. That'll maximize your space and operating room without getting too wide. All right. The other thing that's important is make sure the load bearing's on the quads. You never want to feel tension and tightness in the hip flexors because that's going to slow down the motion as you fight through that tension. Okay. Let's go ahead and line up towards the target, or towards the camera. I'm sorry, and see what that looks like right now, real quickly. No, line up on the ball towards the camera. I'm sorry. Lost my ability to speak English for a minute there. All right. Now, does that feel comfortable to you? Okay. If it doesn't, you could bring that in a tiny bit with the feet, but I think the toes out is a real good move for you, okay? All right, go ahead and stand up back over there. The other things that we saw coming in, you were a little bit compact and a little bit too deep on the back end. Now, I don't think you were deep on the back end for long because it's been more of a thing of not quite enough knee bend, so we'll look at that. A couple of things we see. You're a blind snapper. You got your head up tight like this before the start. And that creates some tension in the neck. If you're going to have a helmet on and be doing lots of reps and stuff, that's going to really tighten you up. So what Colin was suggesting was maybe just relax the head down a little bit. You're looking at the ball anyway, right? So just relax the head down a little bit. That's going to align your neck vertebrae with the rest of your spine, giving you a straighter throwback to the target, relaxing the tension, and also giving you greater leverage because the longer length of the spine we can achieve, the more leverage we have, right? Okay, so that's good. Being a little too deep is not a good thing, and that's so you were narrow and kind of compact and a little deep like this. All right. The other thing we had going on as a result of that is probably you're a little flat-footed, and when you drive with your legs, that leg drive's going straight up. Because if you're sitting on your heels or you're flat-footed, it's like a half squat. You can only go up and down. We need that drive to be off the balls of the feet, back through the hips towards the target a bit, so that it can converge with the upper body energy traveling down the spine and all go towards the target in an arrow point, right? Okay? So we fixed that. The last thing that we had going on really was that you were kind of splaying your legs as you snap. So you're going like this, sending that energy out to the sidelines instead of back through the hips towards your target. That's another indicator you're a little narrow. I think we fixed that two ways. One is we changed the stance. We took the toes out, widened you a bit. The other thing that we did is we stood on each side of you with our feet on your heels, and if you're going to drive those legs, you got to drive back towards your target, not out towards the sidelines, right? That pretty much corrected it. And you're a little lock-kneed at the finish. Let's get in the habit of resetting back down. You want flexed joints on the football field so you never have a chance to get hurt, okay? Go ahead and hop in. I'm going to three-step you, adjust you, and then turn you loose. Okay, you ready? I'm going to pull you forward till you lean on the ball. That gets knee bend to 90 degrees or less, straightens the back, and fully extends the arms. I'm going to raise you up, maximizing operating room under the torso. Then I'm going to push you back into the hips towards your target so the heels touch the ground, knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. Now, as a blind snapper, you want to be fairly horizontal, shoulders to hips relative to the ground. Go a little deeper there, raise the front a tiny bit more. How's that feel? I know I've had you down a long time. Go ahead and let her rip. Perfect setup will lead to a perfect snap every time. Now I am seeing the legs splay out slightly. Let me, I'll just restrict one leg, but I have cones. We're going to have you work with orange cones on your heels the rest of the afternoon, or for a little while, okay? Go ahead and set up. Won't keep you down so long. So we raise the front end, lower the back end, shift the weight till the knees are over the toes and you're perfectly balanced. Does that feel comfortable? Let her rip. There it is. Drive with straight back. How'd it feel? Do you feel like you're too wide? Okay, if you are, I think you could bring it in a tiny bit. Somewhere in between where you were and where you are now is perfection, I think. Why don't you bring it in just like a tiny bit, and let's see what happens. And let her rip. You got lots of power. You don't need more power generation. We just need to capture all the motion energy and channel it into the snap. There it is. Now, am I creating pressure on your hip flexors when I push on your back? That's not creating. Okay. Never want the tension there, and we just got to be careful. Let's do one more rep. And I want you to let this one rip like it's game time at the state championship, all right? Sit that rear a little deeper if you can. Shift your weight forward a touch if you need to. You feel balanced? Okay, go ahead and let it rip. There it is. Perfect setup, perfect snap right in the waist of the punter. You got any questions? Okay, that's a good one. Parker, we worked on stance width, getting your shoulders to hips slope angle a little more horizontal to the ground, raising the front end a little, lowering the back end a little, and making sure your balance is perfect with your knees right over your toes. Let her rip. 2 hands. Looking pretty good. This time I want you to drive straight back. I'm gonna inhibit your motion so you can't splay your legs out. You want to drive back through the hips towards the target, okay? Let her rip. Feel the difference?